Hello everyone and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, we're going to play an Azorius Blink deck. So I've been doing a lot of airbending shenanigans, but one thing I forgot was very useful was airbending a blink creature. So before, we had Starfield Shepherd and Quantum Riddler, our little warp creature that works really well with the Splash Portal as a blink spell. And I tried several decks where we just purely try to blink Starfield Shepherd and Quantum Riddler, but the problem with that is those are a little bit too slow in the early game for lack of interaction, right? We get to blink our stuff, but what if we get a 4/6 out? Our opponent would have a wide board of Badger Moles and the Ouroboros and everything else. So instead, airbending allow us to kind of get around that because we have a blink slash good ability, good removal ability in airbending as a whole package. So when we airbend a creature, it both either removes an opponent's creature on tempo, they can replay it, but they're going to lose tempo, or it help us remove one of our blinked or one of our warp creature that we can then blink back in for just 2 mana, or cast back in for just 2 mana. So Airbender Ascension is very good at doing that. So is Aang Savior. But even better than that is the fact that if we are able to get Airbender Ascension to 4 quest counters, then at the end of turn, we can just exile one of our blink creatures and then bring it back in, or one of our warp creatures and put it back in, and immediately it will be the unwarped version. So that is the whole idea of this deck. That's where this deck really wants to pop off. But because we're playing Blink, we're playing Bounce, we're playing Azorius, we can also have 4 Stormchaser's Talon and 4 Boomerang Tactics. So that's off the bat already a very good combo. Let's talk about the whole deck list now. From the turn 1, what we want to do is have one of our 4 Stormchaser's Talon in play. That would be probably the best turn 1 play. Fairly short of that, we can still also have one of the 3 Momo Friendly Flier. This is 1 mana 1/1 flying. Lemur is actually really good for what we want to do, because turn 1, if we play Momo, that means that turn 2 we can either play a 1-drop Starfield Shepherd or a 1-drop Quantum Riddler for the warp cost. And then for that extra mana that we have, because it's turn 2, we can Splash Portal it, and then immediately we get these big creatures, big tempo swing. And even if we don't do that, we can still play a Nurturing Pixie and bounce our warped-in creature, get that value, and still have a 2/2 Pixie on board. So that's very tempo-heavy, and that's what makes Momo very good on turn 1. So those are our active turn 1 plays, but we also have a little bit of more reactive turn 1 play, which is, very often what's going to happen in Arena. I have 3 Seam Rip to take out early game mana dork, so that's going to be very important, right? You don't want your opponent to badger mow you. Make sure you have Seam Rip. We also have 4 Boomerang Basics. We can use that on our Stormchaser's Talon, which is pretty good, but we can also use that on our opponent's mana dork, which, removing a mana dork in turn 1 is critical, because that way they cannot go really quickly out of control, and then their deck won't do much. So, yeah, we have 4 Boomerang Tactic. You gotta have 4. And then we have 3 Splash Portals. It's not really interactive play as much as our play on turn 2 and beyond, right? So you definitely want to play Splash Portal turn 1 because it doesn't do anything. But turn 2 and beyond, we can use Splash Portal on our warped out creatures. We can also have 4 Nurturing Pixie. Same idea. You could play Pixie on turn 1, but you shouldn't. You can play Pixie on turn 2 and on, and use that to bounce one of our, ETB abilities. That way we can double dip while still having a 2/2/1 1 mana 2/2 Flier on board, so we can tempo out and deal damage that way. So then that's our turn 2 1-drop play. We also have our 2 mana play with 4 Airbender Ascension and 2 Charming Prince for a little bit more bounce and a little bit more blink. And in 3-drop play, we have 1 Kitesail Larcenist and 2 Aang Savior. Now, I wanted to run 3 Aang Saviors for this deck, but after looking through all the deck lists, they all have 2 Aang and 2 Kitesail Larcenist. I don't know how good this card is, so I'm gonna try it, but this is something that I basically stole as a tech. I don't know if that's even necessary. Then our 4 and beyond play is the Quantum Riddler and the Starfield Shepherd, which I'm going to put over here because they're not actually 4 drops, or 5 drops rather. You almost never pay 5 mana for them. You're going to warp and cheat it in with, Blink, or bend it out with Airbending. So that's kind of the idea. So this deck kind of curves out to 3 mana. I also have 1 Mockingbird, just in case I want to copy something. Of course, Mockingbird you can search out with Starfield Shepherd, and you can use Mockingbird to copy Quantum Riddler, copy Charming Prince, and you can also use Mockingbird to copy your opponent's creatures. That's very important. Then the land base wise, unfortunately, we don't have any good Azorius lands in standard right now. So I'm going to run 4 Floodfarm Verge, 4 Multiversal Passage, and 4 Starting Town because we don't have Hollow Fountain. And I have 3 plains and 6 islands. Hopefully that will get us there. You might think, hey, you have Starfield Shepherd. How come you have this little plains? Well, our Starfield Shepherd shouldn't be getting us plains. Our Starfield Shepherd should be getting us our 1-drop creatures. And that's the whole idea of this deck. And I hope that this deck will go the distance. But let's go into standard and find out how well we will do. Alright, our opponent is Phat Platypus. We do get to go first, but oh boy, this hand. I mean, I guess you can Starfield Shepherd. I don't know. Let's see where our go first actually takes us. Starting now. I'm not playing a Pixie. Island. Stormchaser's Talon. Alright, well we could get rid of his Talons. But I can't Splash Portal the Shepherd. That's the issue, right? I need to draw that land. I guess getting that out is not too big of a deal. I still will get a 2-2. Do I bounce my Shepherd? Or do I bounce my Airbender? I think I bounced the Shepherd. I can maybe fight the Drake Catcher for a turn or two. Right, it needs to deal damage. And then my Pixie would just move. This removes 3. So you cannot remove 3. That is let out. I'm only gonna get 2. And I get a land. That's very important here. So with the land, what do I do here? I can Pixie the Airbender? No. Choose 1. Gain 3 life or exile another creature and return to battlefield the next end step. What I can do is Shepherd here. Let's get ourselves a Nurturing Pixie. Let's get all the Pixies. Charming Prince. Exile the Starfield Shepherd. Let's scry 2. I mean, I don't really need either of these 2 cards, so Quantum Riddler is what made this deck work. I mean, I guess it didn't matter because I'm going to shuffle anyways. Let's get a Flames out. Plenty of Pixies. Just need my Pixies to do stuff. I don't know how I'm going to fight the Drake Hatcher, to be honest. In all honesty here, that might be the difficulty I'm going to face. How's he gonna attack? He doesn't attack. That's wild. Because if he doesn't attack, I can just Pixie out the Airbender. This is sorcery, right? He's gonna chump? No way he chumps, right? And he plays a spell this turn, that'll be pretty bad. played that. These aren't frogs, right? These are frogs, okay. So I can splash portal to Starfield. Maybe he's got a burn spell. I don't think I need Momo. I'll take another Pixie though. And then I'll splash portal probably this Pixie. I'll return this Prince. Just get annoying with flickering. And let's see where it can take us. I mean, we can try to be as annoying as we can. That's a third Drake hatcher. He's really just hatching Drakes. I mean, I'm really just getting lands. I'm just taking the damage. Not gonna let his Drake Hatcher do their thing, so spend the mana to play him if you want. He's down at 9. If he's still gonna keep playing his Drake Hatchers, we have 8 damage on board. It's almost lethal. But then he can double prowess and get through, so gotta be careful with that. Oh, nice! I draw a land. I'm already exactly out of stuff and I draw. Yeah, like, this is what happens, right? It's gonna have to chump eventually. He hasn't done it yet. Tap. So I can play this to flicker Pixie and use the Pixie to flicker. I should have attacked with more, honestly. Give myself a Momo. I just wish that my deck can do anything other than drawing lands. Look at how many lands I drew. 8 lands out of 18 cards. That's a lot of lands. First Lightning. He does have to come in with more than just... Oh, these are Vigilance. Yeah, so they can still block, right? I feel like there are spells you can use, so... I will let him have 1 Drake. Gotta let him have 0 Drake. So now he's getting 0 Drake. And I got 2 Pixie to attack with. Pretty sure there's a burn spell. Secret Identity. What does that do? Flying Hexproof. Why did he do it this turn? Alright, again, Airbender's Ascension. I can do that again. I can, do I want to do that again? I do want to just attack, right? If I just attack, he will have to use his Secret Identity. There's a stick. But that will make him run out of cards. So there's that. My cat went great. Into the Flood Mall. Alright. That's exactly what I wanted, so thanks. I can Airbender's Ascension now. To Airbend one of the Drake Hatchers. Play Pixie. Airbend the other Drake Hatcher. Get Momo out. Get another land. Flicker this Pixie. Comes back. Gives me another Airbender's Ascension for next turn. So, even though we only drew lands for like 45 turns, the Airbender's Ascension is just annoying enough that we got them stuck. He wants to opt. Okay. You do get to draw a card, but that one card has to save him. I don't know. All we gotta do is stock the Drake Hatcher, because it costs 2 mana to play, and this deck is running very low on mana. So the Airbender's stall is so far been good enough. It's kind of funny, the only card we drew here. I mean, 4 Nurturing Pixie I dug out of the deck, so I wasn't gonna get anything. Really? You want a level 2 right now? Maybe draw a land. And he's looking for a burn spell? Yeah. But that's not gonna do it. You can't play anything, so yeah, GG. That's not gonna do it. Alright, our opponent is Finsjel. Finsjel, the Bargler. That's just a bunch of vowels thrown together. Our opponent going first. Okay, our opponent's going first. This hand is, I would say, not very good, but maybe we'll Seam Rip into Shepherd, the Pixie to Seam Rip. That's kind of what we have to hope for. We gotta keep. See what our opponent's doing and fight from there. Oh, we'll get a card. So, they're down 2 cards. Turn 1 Gene Pollinator. So, let's stop this from happening. Weaver. Do I want the Weaver? Yeah, I don't want to random. Consider yourself not ramped. Okay. So I could Starfield Shepherd here, but is that worth? To get a Mockingbird? I already have the Mockingbird. So what am I gonna get here? A Plains? drop. Momo's a card. He shocked the Universal Passage in and then didn't do it. What is this? Oh, okay. That was surprising. I don't want to draw all these cards. Exile target artifact or enchantment. That doesn't help me. But that's a bad card, right? So I don't know what this deck is doing. It's really tricky because I have no idea what it's doing here. So for 4 mana, I definitely want to play something. Maybe it's just a Quantum Riddler. I do want to draw cards. Nope. I mean, this is really bothersome. Alright. Copy the Pixie. Bounce my Riddler. There's a 4 and a 2. Oh, we got a lot of damage in. This Quantum Riddler's gonna have to go away. I wanted to play the Riddler for 4-drop, but I always get wrong which side. I always assume the right side is the full side, but no, it's not. There's an Ouroboros. No, that we're out. Alright. I would say that's pretty scary. I have a Seam Rip. I can Quantum Riddler. Ascend and Riddle again. Is that enough? Do I die from doing that? Or I could also Seam Rip and Ascend the Ouroboros. First I'm gonna play land. Right? So Seam Rip, Ascend the Ouroboros, and Quantum Riddler. But then he would just play it again for 2 mana. Still kinda have to though. Would I die from that attack? Play it again. Can I get a Splash Portal? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need a chump. I just hope he doesn't get a reach, right? If he doesn't get a reacher, we just kind of fly over. Badgermo? Not a reacher, so it might look scary. And don't get me wrong, it is scary. But we fly over him. Drop to 5. I'm at 1. 1's not 0. And real. Dead. Good game, you badger mold degeneracy, you. Goodbye, Finsjel. I hope you go to jail. I don't know. GG. Alright, our opponent is Jack Laundry. He's doing some laundry. He's a dinosaur. His arms can't even reach his laundry. Oh, this is an okay hand. We got Momo. Momo into Starfield Shepherd feels pretty fun. Because I can Shepherd the Pixie. And I won't miss my land drop. But if he plays a Landware Elf or something, I'm gonna have to fight him. He doesn't play a Landware Elf or something, which means... Do I Shepherd into... I still think I Shepherd into Pixie, right? No, I think we Airbender Ascension here. If I can get to 4 Ascension counters, it would really pop off. And if you want to spend 2 mana on a Paw Patch, I wouldn't feel too bad about that. He does spend 2 mana on the Paw. Oh boy. Now that's a spicy meat to ball. Okay, what do I even want to get? Probably just another Pixie. Do we Pixie or Airbender's Ascension though? That means I can Boomerang this. I don't know if I want to Boomerang that. Let's get a Mockingbird. I mean, a Mockingbird doesn't do much. I guess I can copy his. Oh, GG. I mean, I have to think about my place, alright, Jack Laundry? I know you're doing your laundry, but I'm not. Alright, our opponent's Big Boy 88. Here, Big Boy. Big Boy's letting us go first. We got Starfield Shepherd into the portal. Momo. Hey, look at that. We were both playing the same deck. Except yours went away. Two mana Momo. We can play a 3 mana Momo. I mean, I already have to Pixie out anyways. Yeah, we can play a 3 mana Momo. Do it again. It's not a 3 mana Momo unless he doesn't have anything else to play. He has to play non-lemur spell, of course. Of course. I knew that. So it's an angel deck. Okay, I could make myself a Momo. Well, this is also a non-lemur spell, technically, right? So that won't work. I could give myself my own Momo, but I think the Pixie is what the doctor ordered. So Valk is pretty scary. He's gonna keep gaining the +1 counters. Oh, he puts a shelter though. That's interesting. He's gonna shelter that. I suppose suppose. But Gyato's coming in for free. And so is Starfield Shepherd. Or so is his Momo, I should say. This could give me just one, right? I do want to plank, so let me give myself a plank here. Oh wait, I get my own Airbender's Ascension. I can now ascend to Starfield. I can play for 2 mana next turn, which should be a full creature. Actually, 1 mana next turn because it's not a lemur. He's gonna Airbender's Ascension my lemur. Oh, we're having fun, aren't we? His Valk's at 2. I think I take a Pixie though. The Talent. Another Pixie. Flicker this. Do I even want to flicker my Pixie? No, I have a Pixie. Give myself a land. I have a land to play next turn. Let's see who's more annoying with Airbender's Ascension, shall we? I'm betting it's me. I mean, I'm not even getting my Quantum Riddler. I need that. Go Momo, friendly flyer. Fly through the sky. He's got Halia. Halia's pretty good. Not gonna lie though. Halia is a scary card, but because he has Halia, he has just given me the option to have my own Halia. Equal to the amount of mana spent to cast this creature, right? Does this work? No. Oh man, that's not right. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Non-Pixie. So this lemur play actually screwed me over. Okay, fine. I'll do it the right way. Thanks a lot. Oh, I can't! Of course. Man, I'm just doing everything wrong here. Did I even return this? I guess we'll return that. Let's bend this Halia out of the way. Play it again. This doesn't need to attack. I'll flicker a Mockingbird. You can only copy one of these. Can I even bring anything back? I got a splash portal. That's the thing, right? Like, I'm using up his mana. Okay, so... okay. So he wants to draw that card? Does he draw 2 cards? No, I don't think so. Another Starfield Shepherd. Yeah, so what can I do here? I could flicker the Nurturing Pixie. I could also just bring in a Nurturing Pixie. I'll bounce this on now. I don't know why I named the Pixie. That was probably the worst card to name there. It's X equal to 2, right? This is 3 mana play. 3 mana play. I would like myself a flying Halia. Only gain 1 life. You can jump 1, but not both. He didn't even jump. Not bothering. First I'll flicker this. Then I'll flicker this. Land, please. Another Momo, please. I get a Seam Rip. I mean, I can take out his Airbender Ascension with this. I get a Splash Portal. It won't do much good. And now we sit at the mercy of our opponent's game. He's got a 3/3 flyer. Well, it's gonna be a big flyer. But that's alright. No matter how big, we can just bend it. Huh. I wonder what his plan is there. Sending creature to the deck. Finally, we get our Riddler. Okay, he's gone. Is he cheating? I never got the Riddler. Alright, our opponent is that Izer, Onezer, Lizer. Go firster. I mean, this is a funny hand. I do get a Stormchaser's Talon. I do need something to flicker the Quantum Riddler stuff, but I drew it, so seems to be working just quite well. Alright, I want this to be on probably white. Look at their attack, because all I'm going to do this turn is Stormchaser's Talon. Next turn we're going to have a big Quantum Riddler, unless he counters us. If he holds up 2 mana, we're going to watch out for a counter spell. He's going to gain a lot of life doing that, huh? Oh boy, okay. I guess we'll give him life. But having a Quantum Riddler definitely is where it's at, so we're going to do it. Got split ups. He's got split ups. I think I Starfield into a bounce. Alright, we're just gonna try to leverage our value. How many Day of Judgment can he have, right? Like, can't be infinite, so... Looks like it's a counterspell deck. Do I want to just... Yeah, you know what? He's not going to do anything. I'm going to give me a splash portal. Here comes the search. No, he's going to get lots of pixies. There's more pixies where that's coming from. Okay, he's going to get lost twice. He used up all his cards? I don't know about that. Elspeth. Elspeth is pretty scary. Not gonna lie here. But I might be able to do something against Elspeth. I just want to bounce Elspeth.
There's a bright future. Evil falls to its death.
I think this will do. Starfield Shepherd. Give myself Mockingjay or the Mockingbird or Pixie. Probably take the Pixie here. I can leverage the Pixie pretty well. And I'm gonna flicker the. I mean, I guess I can get both. He did kill both my Riddlers. It's really annoying. I can keep boomeranging.
Our ranks grow.
Interesting. So he's just letting the attacks through? He's gotta have a get loss or something. No, he's just letting the attack through, okay.
Hope is never lost.
And I'm gonna Momo. I get Boomerang and I get Splash. Take the Boomerang. I don't need to Splash right now. Am I going to use the Boomerang? Am I going to use the map? I want Boomerang to get countered. Alright, let's see what he wants to do. Probably play another Elspeth or something. Kitesail Larcenist. Target artifact or creature. It's not too bad. It's honestly not the best, but you know what? It's just gonna get like, just gonna get shuffled in. I'll remove that so that will come back at the end of turn, and then he has no way to interact with it if he wants to play an Elspeth. Just gonna attack it. So he's probably holding up a counter spell to counter my Boomerang. I don't know, is he? Is that what he's planning to do? Because I could just level this up. No, but then he has... How many get losses does he have? He already used 2. If he has more, let's see it. Instant sorcery spell, right? That one's already spent, so I'm gonna use it. There's no more life. I mean, I saw that coming. I still get an Oner. And get lost. I mean, I already got the Oner. 4. Now Pixie back one of these. The level 1. Really need to gain life. Stick for more cards. Ooh, that was a mistake. Okay, I forgot that I was doing that on the Charming Prince to get the other cards, but yes, your go. Blah blah blah. You got a board wipe coming. 3 steps ahead just to draw. Nice. That's totally what you should do right now. Okay, our opponent just leaves. Nice blue-eye control. Get the F out. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you saw all those Azorius Blinky games, how does this deck feel? I have to say, this deck performed above my expectation just because of how annoying Airbender Ascension is. We were actually able to stop a lot of the aggressive decks that are tearing up in the meta, especially those Badger Mode decks. And the best thing about going against those is that we don't remove their things. We just kind of make them go away. They can play it again, but once they lose tempo, our little Pixie would just kind of deal enough damage to kill them. So that's what makes this deck very strong. I really like the way that this deck turned out, but I can't say it is perfect. There is still some tuning that probably needs to get done, right? Momo is a great card. I'm not sure if I need 3 Momos. A lot of times when I'm Starfield Shepherding, the only thing I can search left is Momo, and I don't want a second one because he's legendary. So maybe we can go down to 2 off. And Splash Portal is a good card, and there's a lot of games where I wish I had a Splash Portal, but there are a few games where I drew Splash Portal with nothing to splash on. It's kind of part of a 2-card combo, and if you don't get the other half of the combo, this card doesn't do anything, and that is sort of the downside of those 2-card combos. So maybe we cut 1 Momo, 1 Splash Portal. Those are the cards that I feel like aren't that good early game. Kitesail Larcenist, as I said, is basically nothing. I don't think we need it. I don't think we want it. I think it needs to go away. And I think we should get rid of the Kitesail Larcenist. I don't want it in the deck because we basically just Airbender Ascension them all away every turn. So, you know, it could also be because I never really draw Kitesail Larcenist against the matchup that it is good for, and the one time I drew it, it was basically worthless at that point. But then again, it is a card that I cannot search out, and I don't want to run more than one off in the deck because I'm just going to get it clogged in my hand a lot of times. So yeah, I think those are 3 cards that can go. I think we might need an extra land to go to 22. I'm not sure if we need to do that. There's a few games where I was a little short on mana, but Starfield Shepherd does help us dig the 3 planes out of the deck. So if we can dig 3 planes out of the deck, I think we have enough lands for most games. So right now I have 21 lands. I feel like that should be enough. But what I do want is more card draw. I want more ETB card draw because we have a lot of sort of flickering ETBs, but the only ETB card draw is Quantum Riddler, right? Starfield Shepherd ETBs, but does not card draw. It only searches for a certain number of cards and may not be the best card that we want. So if you look at all the warp abilities that we can have, there is Halia, which is an okay warp. That is a card that we could consider including that card draws. That one game where I copy our opponent's Halia, that was fun, right? And that was the only card draw I thought about that could be relevant. The other warp cards, I also thought about the Asteli Reclaimer, but you have to pay mana. So the only good times that we play him is warp, the Reclaimer, or if we Airbender, so we pay 2 to play Reclaimer. That way we can return a 2 mana card from graveyard to play. It's not that crazy, right? It's just, it's okay at the best. And then we have the Starwinder. That was one of the cards I feel like maybe, but it is a 4 mana warp, and I don't think we can afford a 4 mana warp in this deck. So I think the real warp cards that we want to put in is probably just Halia. And then another thing that I want to add in is the Graveyard Exile in Kutso's Flanker. There was a few times where, although I didn't face them, I feel like if the graveyard, reanimator deck show up, I wish I had a flanker to answer that. And really, you just need to draw 1 flanker and from your deck, and we can keep flickering them. But unfortunately, that's the only card that we have that can handle graveyard in the current Azorius color, right? There is no other good 1-drop we can search for. Survival and Veteran Survivor is a consideration, but you got to survive. And if he attacks and doesn't survive, we just lose him right away. So that's not too great. And those are kind of the ins and outs of what I think about in terms of tuning this deck. And that's really all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.